Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy. Yeah, I'm out here in the land where I do what I do for you. Oh, I got a nice little lesson again. Here you go again. Yeah, here I go again, doing what I do for you. Let's ride. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message and story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I hope it's working out for you, but we got a good thing going. Let's ride. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission, and that's what I'm on, to get you to do just that. All right thinkers should have the answer to know thyself. Why? That's what I'm giving you all the information to do. Know thyself. So let's do what we do. The question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer, tune in. That's what I do for you to help you do just that. Know thyself. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right thinkers. Know thyself. And to my eye, be true. Woo-wee. Today, right thinkers, let's talk about there's three stages and phases of consciousness that we need to understand. And usually we go Amun, Ra, Ptah. Amun, the hidden one, Ra, the seen, Ptah, the creator. Now we're going to go waking personality, Ptah, starting from the bottom, going back to the top. The waking personality, aka Ptah, the self-creator. Dream personality, Ra, this next stage and phase of life that you're going to go through. Then you got the deep unconscious sleep phase or stage. That's Amun. That's the hidden one. We usually start with him, but we're going to end with him. He's the deep unconsciousness. Okay? Let's start out with the waking personality. That's Ptah. The waking personality is what? Is aware of what? The physical reality. Right now, in the flesh. That's us. It is what? The state in which consciousness uses the gross sense, which the five senses of the body, in order to experience gross physical objects. However, as we discussed in the Egyptian Yoga, my first book, The Philosophy of Enlightenment, Volume 1, we worked on Volume 2. This is right here, Volume 2. All right. So now you got gross physical objects in art and what? In reality, not physical at all. Well, what you mean? Again, scientific and physics prove this finding, which mystics have held for thousands of years, have been confirmed by who? Modern physics. Again, excuse me. All modern physics do is prove that the ancients knew what they were talking about when they were talking about it. Way advanced, okay, consciously and mentally. Why? In reality, watch this. Physical objects which are experienced in what? The waking state right now of consciousness, listen, are no more real than the objects experienced in your dream. What they're saying is right now, everything you can touch the physical, where everything vibrates. And the slower it vibrates, the more it becomes physically dense so you can realize what it is. So for everything in this right now, it's vibrating where we can everything seems to be physical. In reality, it's really not. But in your dream world, in your mind, when you're laying down, sleep, in your mind, it done went off and done what it does, you think it's real. Get the concept? That's why we dealing with consciousness. Consciousness is what's inside the head between your ears. Internal stuff. Now, watch this. Oh, yeah, okay. The factor which makes what them appear real is, again, the conscious. Why? Because it's inside your head in association with what the senses. When you're sleeping, you're not tasting, smelling, seeing, none of that. You're using none of your senses, but you're still just working with the mind, which is the consciousness, which is what God is eternal, all pure consciousness, all knowing. When you're in that state, in the waking state, you can't be all conscious. When you go into that dream state, that's when you become more conscious of what? The unconscious. Watch this. You got consciousness does what? It leads reality to the world. Watch this. Dependent on the state, aka lucid, agitated, or dull, in which it is. If you are able to have lucid dreams, you're pretty much conscious while you're unconscious. I mean, you woke up in your dream and realized you're in the dream. That's the fun part. I love that. Agitated, meaning you're not at rest, you're not comfortable, you're worrying about the side chick, you're worrying about your wife finding out the stuff that you're doing wrong. Those agitates the mind. Why? And the heart can't be at rest. Then, or dull, you just stupid. Blessed lately, just, just dumb. Okay. In anything, this is why what you believe that the waking world, which we are now, is real. And while your dream, you believe what? That the dream would be real also until what? You wake up. While you're woke, you think this is reality. But guess what? When you go to sleep, what you did during the day becomes out of the way. You're back into the dream state. The Australian Aborigines felt like, and the Native Americans said, the real world is when you go to sleep and go into that world of consciousness where your mind takes over. You don't need the body. That's where you're gonna end up anyway. The body gonna stay here. Remember, the conscious need to go with the spirit. That's the whole hit. The kick is when you become conscious. That means your body, which can elevate, leave, ascend when what the body dies. If your head, which meaning if your consciousness ain't on that body spirit, the spirit can't go home. Spirit don't know itself, so it got to find another body and hope to get enlightened. That's the concept of right thinking philosophy. I need you to understand that. Now, where we at? Okay. However, neither is real from an absolute point of view. Why? They are relative realities that have expressed or emanated out of what? The mind as a thought, imagination, or daydream arises. Remember, the mind can go places, leave the physical body. That's the whole part about being conscious. Hope you understand this. Get a little hot up in here. Now, watch this. The waking personality wants what? Physical objects. Why? For its experience. That's what we do in the physical world. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So in the physical world, we have to use our five senses. It desires, watch this. It desires what? Worldly objects. New car, big house, a lot of money, and worldly experiences for what? For its enjoyment and to what? Interact with through your senses. And all those is exercising and massaging your ego. Why? Because the ego is where all your desires come from. More material things, all ego. Spiritually, you don't aspire to do all of that. No, it's just, that's why the sages and mystics don't try to get rich. They try broke. Yeah, because money don't go up. If I had a bunch of money and I die, who gonna get the money? It won't be me. You left me alone. I'm just saying. So if you wait for money, you might be looking for the wrong person for me. I got books for you. I told you. Moving on. Now let's go to the next phase. From the waking state, let's go to the dream state. That's the fun place. Okay, if you didn't know, the dream state is represented by Ra here. The dream personality is what? Is characterized by the astral existence, meaning outside the body, up in the conscious understanding. Dream, meaning you sleep. The physical body has no bearings. Understand that. Watch this. So this means that what? The experience here is more subtler than in the waking state. Yeah, perfect example. However, there is no less is no less real or intense while what they're when they're occurring. Meaning when you're doing it, you think it's real. Wet dream. I use that as a perfect example. You sleep. You wake up, you have an orgasm. How did that happen? The body was told it was having sex. It became that intense that it became real for the body. Understand that? So with that notion, with that idea, know that what's up here runs but down here. Now, in this astral plane, where it's all mental, the events do not occur with what the same casual law as if what the awakening. Why? It's all mental. It's all in your head. Events, watch this. They don't occur as results of other events, like in a progressive manner, as in the waking world. Everything pretty much progresses. Yeah. Now, in the waking state, if you want to do something, like go across town, okay, you have to go out, get in your car, start it, turn it on, go on across town, or whatever, etc. But watch this. In the astral plane, you can just think it and then you're there. That's the difference in the dream world and the real world. The astral personality experiences with a simpler sense, while the waking personality experiences with the gross physical sense, of which is the five senses of the body. We use the physical part. The astral plane don't need the body. That's why the experience in the dream, even though your body may be sound asleep, perfect example, and it's oblivious because all the senses, all your sensory stimulation is not working. Why? Because you're asleep. In the waking world, all your senses is alive. The teeth, see, taste, smell, all those things working in the physical world, but you have no use for them in the astral world, which is where you would be when you go to sleep. Right quick. You know Ptah, he represents the noon. You got a third, he's the third member of the Trinity. Ptah is who? The creator, emerging out of primeval waters, aka known, and as the primeval hill, Atum. Ptah, watch this. This is how he became the creator God, the self-creator. Ptah conceived in his heart, sorry, which is reasoning and consciousness. All that would exist, and at his utterance, the word will power to make what manifest. He speak into existence, felt it in the heart, thought it in his mind, and uttered it out. We use that same philosophy. In the heart is where Amun, the hidden one, he hides in man's heart, the spirit, this and everything. That's Amun, the hidden one. Ra is the physical part, the sun, which lightens us up, gives us heat and warmth. We worship the sun for what it gives us. We know the sun ain't God. Understand that? Akhenaten wanted it to be God, another lesson, but that's the difference. But yeah, now Ptah represents the physical form manifested from the thought, the utterance. Now it's physical form. That's us, Ptah in form. After what? Feeling, thinking, and uttering words of power. That's why what we say pretty much is causing things to happen. Now, he also created the noon, which is what? The primeval waters, which was unformed what? Matter, aka energy. God is energy. Constant, unceasing, undying energy. We call it soul, spirit. Okay, understand that. But now watch this. Then not having a place to sit out of the noon, he what? He emerged and sits on Ptah. Then came out of the waters, what? What came out of four waters with Ptah? Four pairs of God, what you call the Agdo. I told you about them, the four gods. Uh, deal with that in a few minutes right now. Too much time to go through that. But yeah, he came out called the Agdo. We talk about them another time, but I got them covered too, the four gods, their aspects. The astral plane, let's talk about that right quick, is what? The plane in which the mind and the intellect functions on. That's why in the gods of Paiute, you got Hathar, Tahuti, and Maya outside the Paiute. Why? Because those are aspects. Hathar is the spirit, Tahuti is the brain, the consciousness, and Maya is order. They represents aspects of nature that keeps it going. That's why. Now, and excuse me, it is the plane where what your personality feels fulfilled. Why? When it's good thoughts, or it's anguish and worry when the sorrow thoughts. In this plane of words, ideas, and thoughts, that's your head. You go through the cycle of thought process, depending on how they are. If you're moody, good thoughts make you happy. Bad thoughts bring you down. You got to learn to keep that peace. Just like this, no, you want to be smooth, level it out. Not too high when it's good, not too low when it's bad. So I don't get all out of pocket when it good. Well, I think you don't care. No, I'm not gonna act a fool because I'm happy. I'm not gonna jump up and down like a no personal self-integrity. I'm not doing that. So when I get down depressed, you're not gonna see that. Oh no, no, you never see me do woe is me. Okay, I handle my head, I handle my situation, keep my head up, and do what I gotta do. Okay, moving on. Now the substance. What's this? Of which the mind composed is subtle forms of what? Undifferentiated matter. Your thoughts haven't materialized yet. They just come and they go. Thoughts arise in what? The form of differentiated chunks of subtle matter, which the mind has learned to what? Recognize as what? Particular thoughts and ideas based on the concept of what? Assigning and then recognizing names, forms of nature. Again, man names everything. That's a dog. That's a cat. Says who? This is what man did. This is how it's done. So understand that we dictate what's going on. Also, watch this. It is the plane in which what? The personality, watch this, holds on to its self concept, meaning what? Ego. The first thing we gravitate to is ourselves. Remember, ego is the acronym for what? Edging God out. If you're a person who keeps God out of your life, you egoistic. You egoism. That's what it is. You just all about you. Humanism. You think you is it. You're not. You'll find out real soon. Trust me. Now, when you still hold on to your self concepts instead of what recognizing its transcendental underlying essence, meaning your higher self, you don't know none of that. The ego, all it knows is itself. Don't know God. Hence, edging God out. This holding on does what? Reflects in a gross manner through the physical body and senses that what? That hold on to physical passions, desires, and the idea of body consciousness. All it wants to do is zoom, 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 and the boom, boom. Yeah, pleasure. All it wants is just pleasure, sexual pleasure. They don't care. That's the ego self. And once the body follows the ego self, that's what it's going to do. Live on the lower level. Moving on. Since all matter, here we go, is what? In reality, the same subtle substance, just in different states of coagulation from subtle to gross. That's how you break down it from subtle to dense. The spirit up here, body down here. When the body ceases to exist, the spirit should go back. If not, it stays here until what? It get enlightened. An unenlightened spirit will never go back where it come from. Why? It don't know. Can't get in. That's like getting to the gate and they ask you, who sent you? That guy, that guy. Godson, no, who? See, if you don't know, you can't get in. I like coming to the club and don't know the knock. You can't get in. Sonic order tell me if I don't hear that, my man, you ain't worried about it. Why? You ain't ever gonna get in. Okay? I hear you knocking, but you can't get in. Come on, it's conceptual. Moving on, where we at? Now, I don't know. I'm talking about this again. Okay, here you go. Now, this holding on reflects what? The physical body. Okay, I did that right now. Since I did that too. Since all matter, something grows reality, and matter. So, in the mind, in which leads what? Reality to duality in the world through the power of recognizing what? Differences in the appearance of material objects in the awakening world, as well as the astral world of dreams and ideas. You need to know when you go to sleep. When I lay down, mentally, I know I'm going to get rest, but I'm also going to go take my mind to somewhere where I pretty much control wherever it goes. The astral personality is the level in which desires and longings are what? Harbored and manifest in the forms of thoughts and feelings. These in turn lead what? The person to certain action. There we go. That person believes, watch this, will allow them to what? Discover the object of their desire and achieve satisfaction. If it's good, excuse me, positive, but if it's just for pleasure and self gratification, not too good. But however, watch this. Since the desires of the mind are endless, again, the ego mind, it won't stop craving. It won't stop desiring. Okay? So it's endless and what? Can never be satisfied. If you think anything you do in this physical world gonna give you long lasting satisfaction, if it's physical, trust me. The person is led, watch this. You're led on a seemingly, watch this, endless and futile what? Journey through life in search for what? Happiness and egoistic satisfaction, which will never be satisfied. So you chase your tail, the Ouroboros. All you're gonna do is keep going around and around. That's called buffering on the new technique. They call it buffering. We call it the snake biting his own tail. That means you just you your own worst enemy, so to speak. Now, when the object that provides true satisfaction, which is for me, red Rolls Royce, cannot be discovered in my lifetime, what happens? My astral personality, which survives, even though the waking aspect of my personality dies. Hello, watch this. It then seeks what? Fulfillment in the astral plane through astral experiences, meaning it's going to be in the mind. Wherever the spirit goes, it's going to take that memory with it. Why? Because it's part of the desires of the ego self. Where we at? It then, watch this. See, oh no, here we go. Experience. Then, after some time, what happened? It becomes associated with another body. There you go. The spirit finds another body, and what? Becomes born into the waking state again. The waking state is the physical world. That's where the mind and the body have to come together, wake up to get it home. In the dream state, you have all this stuff going in the mind, but if you ain't acting on none of it, it's just knowing right from wrong and don't use it. Having knowledge and don't implement the knowledge. How powerful is knowledge? Knowledge is power. Not if you ain't using it. How good is the gun with no bullets? That's like having knowledge without using it. So this process is called what? You know what? Reincarnation, or more term, the cycle of birth and death. When the physical person, the body, spirit is born into the world, in the physical world, it has a goal to know itself. If it don't, it fail and what? Get to do over again. Simple as that. Moving on. It's like, oh, I see the time. We get no stop watching the clock. Just handling the lesson I'm teaching. Now I'm doing my thing. I'm rolling. Now, as stated earlier, watch this. The astral plane is also experienced where? In the dream state. Still in your mind. However, it's like when you say that, however, this is a negative experience. Why? Because you are just as much caught here as you are in the waking state. In meditation, there you go. This is how you make that transformation. In meditation, the astral plane can what? Be experienced what? Consciously. Meaning you are aware. Why? You're meditating. You're allowing it to happen. Have you ever had a waking lucid dream or a situation in which you were between waking and sleep and suddenly your body is paralyzed even though you are aware? Rarely people sometimes experience a dream and are aware that they are having a dream. It's called lucid dreaming. And with mind control, good meditation practice and understanding, you pretty much control what dream state you're going to. And when you get there, you pretty much know you're there. So you pretty much control my dream. I haven't had a nightmare in years. Why? I have, man, all my dreams is good. I think positive. I do good things. So I don't have no hangups. Remember, the subconscious is taking in everything. While you wake, stuff that you ain't paying attention to, subconscious does. It don't miss nothing. So when you go to sleep, it's like the roaches in the house. When lights is on, you don't see them. Lights go out, oh, here they come. Lights come on, they scatter. Same thing. The concept, it's a mental thing. Yeah, I had roaches when I grew up, so I understand that concept. They, now we have train roaches. They wouldn't come out in the daytime or with people, companies. At night they had their way. So yeah, it's another list down. We put the stuff down and fight them, but yeah, just the concept. All right, here you go. They are what? Conscious of the astral plane and not of the waking body or waking personality. The object of meditation is to what? Discover the astral plane in what? A positive conscious way, and to thereby allow your mind to what? Expand and understand that the waking and astral plane are merely reflections of what? Your own consciousness. Because it's happening inside you. In reality, just as you experience a dream, universe, and when you wake up from the dream, you realize that what? The entire existence was what? Within your mind. In the same way, when you wake up from the dream of the world of time and space, by attaining what? Enlightenment, knowledge of self, you will discover that what? The existence of the world of time and space also what? Occurs within your consciousness. Again, now you're aware of it. So in reality, you are not an individual, finite, minuscule speck in a vast ocean of the universe. In truth, the universe is what? Within you. As above, so below. It is an emanation of what? Your consciousness, and you are the source of the substance of the entire universe. You control you, so to speak. You got total control, total anonymity to do you. Last one, I'm wrapping up, taking home. I got one more page to go, so let me go through this. Now let's deal with the deep unconscious, aka Amun or Amen. He's the hidden one. Let's find out a little more about the hidden one. When you are asleep and the dream state of consciousness ceases, what happens? Where are you? This is considered the deep unconscious state. It is characterized by what? The deep experience of peace and transcendentalness. This is why, upon waking up, watch this, you might say that you experienced a profound rest. You cannot say where you were or what happened, but you know that it was total peace and rest. That's some of the best sleep. Why? Because when your unconscious mind gets to do what it does, and when it does this thing, you wake up real refreshed. You don't remember why? Because you was unconscious. Hence, unconscious mind, something that you don't control. This is because what? You were temporarily where? In a state of transcendence beyond any form of dualistic consciousness that is experienced in what? The dream, astral, and the awakened physical states of consciousness. Those three. But the one you go deep under, that's the ultimate. Okay? You actually in the domain. Watch this. Thus, consciousness, what? Experience undifferentiated existence. When it goes within itself, it goes back to Maker. That is existence when there is no duality, no you, me, up, down, here, there, male, female, yes, no, etc. Why? Because there is the true state of consciousness, and it is the true state of all existence. In other words, consciousness is in reality undifferentiated and free from all associations with duality, meaning before Mayat, okay? Bodies before humans, senses, problems, family, etc. The next level, unconsciousness, is way before anything else. It goes back to the beginning. When it's all said and done, when God wake up, it's going to shut back into the noon. What is necessary is to what? Explore this area of what? Consciousness in a positive way through what? Understanding, brought about how? By studying, reflecting upon the mystical teachings, and then meditating, and you will actually experience through the practice of meditation, communion with your higher self. It don't get much better than that. Now, on ordinary level, this state of consciousness is experienced by people in the form of what? Peace and bliss. Yeah. If you are spiritual, if you're Muslim, Christian, Jew, and you're really spiritually inclined, you experience that. That's what it is. I got a sister, I call her my blissed out sister. Why? She's engulfed in a good way with her God and what she believes Christ. I ain't got a problem with that. Why? Because she's just nice as you can be. Okay. Have you ever experienced a deep peace, contentment, or satisfaction which, listen, you cannot explain intellectually? Because I've studied and I read, I got a lot of understanding. I can try to explain to you God from my perspective. A lot of people can't articulate God. Why? They ain't got the wherewithal to understanding. They didn't do the studying, but they doing the living. You ain't got to be able to articulate to nobody. If you live it, only you and God need to know that. So are they trying to prove somebody how much you know about God, how smart? Man, don't waste your time with that. I don't. I just teach how you can know God for yourself. That's my lessons. That's what I do. Now, this is what the deeper feeling at the deep unconscious level. You will not remember nothing. You will not be able to explain nothing. You just know it happened. Okay? It is beyond what the mind, intellect, or the level of what awareness wherein there is reasoning, memory, thoughts, etc. You can't recall where you've been, what you did, how it went down. You just know it happened. That's okay. You don't have to explain God and your relationship with God to no man or woman. If you got it, that's all that counts. Trust me. Because at Judgment Day, ain't no one gonna be there but you. Anyway, living for somebody else's approval is a waste of time. Okay, moving on. The transcendental personality. Know who that is? That's what we call the all-encompassing Naberja. When you reach that level, time and space, everything else is no longer. Why? Because you're there in the space and time of what? Complete, utter, absolute consciousness. All knowing. That's why. The sleep, watch this, the sleep of the body is the sober watchfulness of the mind. When the body goes to sleep, the mind takes over. The watcher, Amun, is the witness for you in everything you do. So he what speaks for you at Judgment Day. Why? He knows, he sees. That's why I read the eye. He let you know, I see everything. So my eyes reveal the true light. My third eye that says open, I see what you ain't looking at. Can you see somebody's internal spirit? I could with the third eye opening. I can sense, discern, and understand 100% who I'm dealing with just by experiencing and observing. That's using all your senses. That's self-mastery. Moving on, I'm almost home. All the states of consciousness we described above are relative. Yeah, they are all relative. Why? Because they're not abiding. What you mean? You just said they are in the realm of what? Duality. Mayat, multiplicity, and segmentation of consciousness, meaning it's all mental. They depend on what? And are sustained by an underlying essence, which is the only reality, which is Amen. All knowing, all encompasses the virtue. That's what you scale to be with. The underlying essence is what? Absolute. immutable, and real. And for most of us, unexplainable, which is okay. But it's beyond the waking state, the dream, and the unconscious personality lies what? The transcendental state. That's the ultimate. Attaining this state, watch this, is the object of all right thinkers, spiritual disciplines. If whatever religion you profess, whatever you're trying to get to God, you have to do this. Why? That's the only way. Jesus tell you, only way to get to the Father is through me. That's getting knowledge of self. No one does self. It's the highest what achievement of all sages and saints, mystics, gurus. This is the underlying essence of all the states of consciousness that we discussed in this whole thing. This is what the level of awareness wherein there is a discovery that all of the states of consciousness, the waking, the dream, the dreamless state, the dreamless sleep, are what? In reality, just emanations or aberrations of what? The transcendental state, which is without distinction or definitions, differentiations, and comes duality. And duration of any kind, meaning that's it. Therefore, from what? Undifferentiation comes differentiation. From one thing to the next. From non-duality comes what? Duality. Maya. However, as we have seen, the underlying essence of duality is really non-duality. Therefore, the supreme reality, the transcendental self, is what? It's present in all states. Again, I'll never leave you, not even to the end of time. Meaning, as long as you living, I'm with you. I'm the spirit that's in you. I can't leave you until when? In the time, which is the physical body, time is up. That's the end of time. For everybody, we have it in time. Not, oh, the world come. No, no, no. Just your world. The whole world gonna still be here. The sun gonna rise. The seasons gonna change. Just you won't be here. Okay, it was doing that before you came. It's going to do that after you leave. So be aware of that. Now, in reality, what happens? Duality is merely an illusion and sustained by what? The unenlightened mind, which is caught in what? Constant movement from state to state. When there is a discovery of what? The transcendental state, now the human being is what? No longer caught up in any of the states of relativity. You now start to realize each state for what it is. This means what? That it is not possible for him or her to be what? Caught up in life's experiences of the awakening, dream or sleepless or the dream sleep states. Why? You now know what they are. Therefore, they will not experience what? The pains and sorrows or the elations of what? Ordinary human existence. Meaning I'm not caught up in my situations. I'm above that now with self-awareness, no knowledge of self. You rise above the situations that we bring upon ourselves. By being ego, you cause fetters to your own self. With knowledge of self, you wipe out the fetters to yourself and you have a good and prosperous, happy lifestyle. Trust me. Now, in other words, what's this? You are not subject to what? Relating to objects through a mind, sense, or the personality. I'm above material, realistic stuff. This is why the dreamless sleep state is so what? Restful. When you reach that level where you just let it all go, you wake up so refreshed and you don't remember. So when you have a dream, you remember, or you active, you in the dream, so you ain't really resting. That dreamless state, when you go to that next level, the body is at ease. The mind is at ease. Why? Because it ain't working. It's at another level. That's why. So at that state, duality draws what? Mental energy. Again, when you're thinking, you're drawing mental energy, while what? Non-duality is what? Restful. Just told you. I just do this. Peaceful and invigorating. That good night's sleep. And you won't remember a thing. A lot of us may get drunk or their time went over. But when you get tired, that's when the body goes into that deep sleep. That's how you get rest. The mind needs rest too. Why? It's constantly going on. And the only way it can get this rest is when it gets to that state. Okay? Therefore, watch this. The rest that you experience at the astral, Ra, and the physical Ptah planes, what? Cannot be compared with what? That experience where? In the deep unconscious plane of Amun. Bam. The big difference, watch this, between I'm taking it home, between the experience of the deep sleep state, Amun, and that of the deep meditative state is that what? The meditative state, la virtue. Ding, 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 ding. You went to the next level on your own, consciously. Watch this. The state of the virtue is a state of what? Heightened awareness, aka nihas, while the deep sleep state is a state which is blanketed by what? The veil of ignorance, aka your ego, individuality self. When you get past that, only way you pass that is what? The meditative state is not passive like the sleep state. In reality, it is what? A state of positive awareness. Again, you becoming conscious of you and God becoming one mindset, which allows the mind to what? Be clear of what? The thoughts when the thoughts that cloud, which is the ego, cloud the reflection of truth. Without the ego personality in the way, you can see clearly. As my man Bill Withers, I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Yeah, the ego is gone. Using the metaphor of the lake, if you go back to the water, the mind is like the water. If it is beset with thoughts, desires, and ignorance, it is murky and muddy, like a lake in the midst of the raging storm. Everything is swirling around. You can't see nothing. Okay? That's not going in your head. That's the concept they want you to understand. But now, if it is purified, how you do that? With understanding and calm through the practice of Maya, aka right thinking philosophy, which gives you balance, equanimity, meditation, and action. These are things that you can do to manifest goodness for yourself and earn your blessings. That's the goal for right thinkers, to earn their blessings on a day-to-day basis. In order to do that, you got to live right. Then what? It clearly reflects the light of the self, which what? Provides every corner, pervades every corner of the universe, which is in your mind. Remember, the mind is the universe for every individual. Just as when the lake is calm and the mud settles, one can see the bottom clearly. End of the lesson. I hope you got the concept. I know it went a little long, but I got the lesson in. I appreciate you. Got more. I'm far from done.